And welcome to episode 6 of the Arsenal Championship Manager 0102 save with the 93-94 database. This episode starts as we head into the Christmas period 1993 with Arsenal top of the league, 4 points clear. And let's see how the Christmas period goes. It's always a really busy period in English football. You know, fantastic tradition of Boxing Day football and New Year's Day matches. Some tough games coming up as we try and maintain a challenge at the top of the Premier League. So let's see how Arsenal got on at Christmas 1993. And the Christmas period started off with a home game against West Ham United, a big London derby. Always a great clash at Highbury when Arsenal and West Ham meet. Alexander Zavarov, with a small neck, is limited to only being able to start from the bench, which means that Alan Smith comes in to partner Ian Wright up front. That's because Les Ferdinand out with a broken toe. He's back in light training now and could potentially be back for the away game at his former club QPR on Boxing Day, but is not fit enough to start this game or even be on the bench against West Ham United. Eddie McGoldrick back in the first-time squad for the first time this season, the first time in his Arsenal career after joining in the summer and then damaging his knee cruciate ligaments. He's back on the bench for this clash at home to West Ham. Great to see Eddie back in the squad. And a really frustrating 1-1 draw at home to West Ham. Always tough, these London derbies, but again at home, struggling to put a match away. 2 points dropped in the Premier League title race. Ian Wright had given us the lead on 16 minutes, but West Ham come back into the game in the second half, got their equaliser, and despite bringing Zavarov on from the bench and also Eddie McGoldrick coming off the bench to make his first appearance for the club, couldn't get that winning goal that we desired. So we have to take a point. And Boxing Day brought another frustrating result for Arsenal. They went away to Queen's Park Rangers in the Premier League on Boxing Day. Les Ferdinand was back to face his old team and resume his strike partnership with Ian Wright, but Arsenal drew a blank. To be fair, Queen's Park Rangers had the better of this game. There was points of the game where we were thinking that we potentially wouldn't get a point out of it because QPR really put the pressure on us. So disappointing to draw 2 games on the trot after what was a fantastic win at Blackburn that put us 4 points clear at the top of the Premier League. At the moment, we are still 4 points clear at the top despite those last 2 results. As you can see, Blackburn have still got that game in hand in third. So still in a good position. We still have to be realistic that we've only lost 1 game out of 20 in the Premier League so far, which is a fantastic achievement. But a bit of a blip in form over this Christmas period so far that we want to try and rectify as quick as possible. And up next, just 2 days later, on the 28th of December, we host the champions Manchester United at Highbury. And let's see how this huge title contest went down at Highbury. And obviously, going into this game in the Christmas period, it's always hectic. You've got players suffering with tiredness. And, we've got 2 here in Alexander Zavarov, who is 32 years of age, and Anders Limpar that were really struggling fitness-wise. So Zavarov, for this big game against Manchester United, this title crunch match, is only able to start on the bench. We've also brought in Eddie McGoldrick for his first start of the season, just to give us a bit of freshness. And we're playing, Les Ferdinand will be on the bench, and we're playing Paul Merson behind Ian Wright, a bit similar to how we set up when we played Blackburn, knowing that it's going to be a game where we'll have to give up some possession and try and work some good positions. So this is the starting lineup for the game against Manchester United at home. And what an incredible title battle it was at Highbury, a Christmas cracker. Arsenal went into a 2-0 lead in the match early in the second half. Steve Bold had to come off injured. Martin Keown come on from the bench, and he opened the scoring with a header on the 35th minute. Arsenal then went 2-0 ahead on the 48th minute. Paul Merson with a free kick that he floated in that went past everyone and found itself going into the far corner of the net. Just as it looked like Arsenal were going to take an easy win against Manchester United to extend their lead at the top of the Premier League, back come the Premier League champions, a fantastic team, Manchester United. Within the space of 4 minutes, Ryan Giggs had pulled one back, and then Dion Dublin making it 2-2. The match then going into the final stages was up for grabs, but it was Alan Smith, Arsenal stalwart, who come off the bench and scored the winner to send Highbury into raptures and give Arsenal a huge 3 points in this Premier League title race. And here you can see Arsenal's second goal. Paul Merson floating the free kick in. It avoided everyone in the box. And that was the goal that put Arsenal 2-0 up. A fantastic win by Arsenal this. And great to see Paul Merson again there. He's popped up some important goals this season. And another one there which has helped towards a massive 3 points. And that win has given Arsenal a 6-point lead at the top of the Premier League. You can see there that Blackburn are still very much in contact. They've got a game in hand. And also Liverpool now, who are creeping into that title race as well. So a couple of bad results for us over the Christmas period have really opened up the title race, maybe for another couple of teams to come in. But a fantastic, huge win over the champions, Manchester United, that has put us 7 points clear of them and 4 points clear at the top as we head into 1994. We then went away to Leeds, to Ellen Road on New Year's Day, and a really difficult game here as Leeds took the lead via Gary McAllister with a great goal. And just when it looked like Arsenal might suffer their second defeat of the season, Ian Wright popping up with a beautiful equaliser, 1-1. So more points dropped in the title race, but looking at the balance of play, I think it was a pretty even game. Leeds is always a tough place to go to. It looked like we might be on the verge of suffering our second Premier League defeat of the season. We avoided that. An unbelievable goal with from Ian Wright to equalise. And Ian Wright's really back in form now. So we take the point, we move on. And now a break from Premier League action and a weekend that every English football fan looks forward to. The third round of the FA Cup, and Arsenal started the defence of their FA Cup away at Wolverhampton Wanderers. And you look at our starting 11 for this FA Cup tie going to Wolves. It's live on the BBC. We've got David Seaman starting in goal. Back four of Nigel Winterburn, Tony Adams, Martin Keown and Lee Dixon. Eddie McGoldrick starts in the role of central defensive midfield player, which is a new role for him as we try and bring him back into the team. We've got Paul Merson on the right as Ray Parlour is out with a small injury. Zavarov in central midfield, and as Limpar and our strike partnership of Ian Wright and Les Ferdinand up front. And what an FA Cup tie it was. The holders Arsenal looked like they were going out to a giant killing. Wolves had took the lead early in the second half and Arsenal were really struggling to get back into the game. And then, like cup winners and cup holders do, and with the form and resilience that we've shown this season, captain Tony Adams popping up again with a great header from a corner, and then Zavarov with the winner 5 minutes later to put Arsenal through to the fourth round. But what a scare for Arsenal. This was a really tough tie and a tough game that we had to overcome. And look at what it meant to the players when Tony Adams equalised. Scenes in the Arsenal away end. And Arsenal will play Wimbledon in the fourth round of the FA Cup. We've drawn fellow London side Wimbledon. We've already had a tough game against them in the Premier League this season at Highbury. And we will play them at Highbury again on the 29th of January in the fourth round of the FA Cup. So what an interesting Christmas and New Year period it was. Some difficult results and difficult games in the Premiership means that we go into the end of this episode only 2 points clear at the top. We've now got a new title contender, as you can see, in Liverpool, who are really coming up the ranks and have overleapt Blackburn and Manchester United into second spot. So, it's going to be a real open title race. I think anyone between Manchester United, Blackburn, Liverpool and Arsenal could win this. Some difficult games for us, but we didn't, a couple of draws, but we didn't lose any. We're still the only team in the Premier League who have only lost one game all season. You can see there that we've had quite a lot of draws, but we can't argue with the position that we're in. We would have took this at the start of the season. And to end the episode, we've obviously progressed in our defence of the FA Cup as well, which is something that we wanted to do. We want to try and go really far in that competition as well. So thank you for watching this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back soon as we progress with the Premier League season into the next round of the FA Cup, and obviously with more Cup Winners' Cup action to look forward to in the 1994 year as well. We'll see you for the next episode.